So welcome to this video. I wanted to share my little watercolor set from Schmincke Horadam, and it's a special edition from the Seasons collection from Frau Hölle, or Mrs. Hell would be the translation in English, and it's the summer one. I don't own the other ones, just this one, but I quite like it, and I thought I'd do a little review. I saw that it's not as high on the side as the normal boxes are, and it's also very sharp, so you have to be careful. It's normally they would fold the edges over so that you can't hurt yourself, and they didn't do it here. And the little part inside which you can pull out don't have the handles on the side for easier lifting. So I think they did it for price reasons, probably. I just take it out again because it takes less space for me at my little desk here. And we were swatching all of the colors. And I will give you the numbers, the pigment numbers, and light fastness information and the names of each of the colors. I will write them down in the end. So yeah, let's start with the first one. It's cadmium yellow lemon, and you can see how easily the Schmincke watercolors are to re-wet just with a damp brush. I don't pre-wet my pans, so I just go with a wet brush to the dry pan, and it's very, very easily to lift. And it's made with PY 35, so a real cadmium lemon yellow, or yellow. That's the only lemon yellow, damn it, yellow cadmium pigment I know. I don't know if there are any others, but it's always PY 35 when it's a real cadmium yellow. And as a lemon yellow, it's a really, really good primary yellow, so it is very helpful for mixing. The next one is Saturn red, and I'm not sure why they call it red, because it's more of an orangey color, and it's also an orange pigment. It's PO64, and it has 4 stars of 5 possible stars for light fastness, so it's very, very good with the light fastness rating. 5 is the best in the Schmincke rating. Oh, I've totally forgot the cadmium yellow lemon also has 4 of 5 stars. So must say, personally, I think the set is more curated for botanical art or yeah, stuff like that. So if you're painting flowers, but I liked the colors they chose, and that's why I bought the set. And I've done a few paintings only with the set as a little challenge to myself for a limited palette, and it works also quite well for coloring anime styled stuff like I do. So this one here is cadmium red light. It's PR 108. So the real cadmium red pigment. It's also rated with 4 of 5 stars. And yeah, that's a color I work a lot with because I like to lighten it with a lot of water, and use that for skin shading. That's one of my my main colors. If you don't like to use cadmium pigments, it I also work with a Pyrrole, I think Scarlet or Pyrrole Red, PR 255. That's also it's a completely similar hue of red. So if you don't want to use cadmium pigments, that would be a good alternative. So the next one is Brilliant Opera Rose, and it's made with PR 122. So it's an quinacridone magenta, which is normally very light fast, but in the opera's colors, or by Schmincke calls them brilliant, they always include fluorescent, and that makes the color absolutely not light fast at all. That's important to know. They only write down fluorescent, so I'm not quite sure which one it is, but mostly other brands use BV10 rhodamine, which is mainly used in microscope work, like giving color to ELISA gen tests and stuff like that. So yeah, it comes from that part, but it makes the pigment, it's combined with unstable and not light fast. It's very important to know. So the one we swatched just now is Sap Green. It's made from PG7, phthalo green, and PY 153. It's rated with 3 from 5 stars, so medium in light fast with the light fastness. The next one is Helio Helio Green, PG36. So it's a phthalo green yellow shade, but I must say it's a very unique version of it, because all other ones I have are much more lighter and have a completely other shade when I compared, for example, with the one from Winsor Newton or other brands I have. So this one is more in between those other shades and the PG7 version for me personally, when I compare it to all the others I have. It's also 4 of 5 stars with the light fastness. So if you want a PG36 which is not that punchy yellowish green, then that one could definitely be one for you. So the next one is Cobalt Green Deep. It's PG26, so a real cobalt pigment, and we have here 5 of 5 stars, so best light fastness, and it's a very beautiful version of the PG26. I like it very much, but of course I'm a big fan of cobalt pigments. They are one of my absolute favorite. That's also the reason why I've chosen them for the cobalt family for my first color family video series. I will continue with the next family soon. But yeah, that's a very beautiful version. I like it very much. It's a dark, granulating green. So the next is also a cobalt pigment. It's cobalt turquoise, made from PG50, 5 from 5 stars, so best light fastness rating as well. And it's a very beautiful turquoise, which is a little bit different from other PG50 turquoises, because mostly the PG50 ones are a little bit more on the greenish side, and the ones made with PB28 are more on the bluish side. And this version here is more on the bluish side, which is, like I said, rather unusual, but it's very beautiful. And I think it's a personal preference if you like the greenish or the bluish hues of the cobalt turquoise more. Then the next one is Phthalo Sapphire Blue, and it's made from PB15 column 6, and it has 4 of 5 stars with a light fastness rating, so it's very good in the light fastness rating, and it's very unusual phthalo blue because it tends a lot to an ultramarine blue. It's very, very beautiful, but as a phthalo pigment, it doesn't have granulation. So if you're not a fan of granulation, this could be a very useful color for you. Or if you're in need of an ultramarinish kind of blue without granulation. Yeah, very, very beautiful. So then the next color we have here is one of the only two colors which are convenient mixes. This is Naples Yellow, made from PW6, PY53 and PBR24. And it has 4 of 5 stars with the light fastness rating. And yeah, that's the color I used for a skin color base when I've done paintings only with this small palette. If you combine it with a touch of maybe the cadmium red, so that it gets a little bit a more natural shade. That's what I have done, and it turned out quite well. I think Naples Yellow is one of those colors. Most brands offer a version with the PBR24 in combination with whites. Some, like Schmincke, put in some yellows or other pigments as well. But they have variations, so they're not all looking the same. You have to decide which version is your favorite for your own, or if you even like using colors with white pigments. So the next one is iron oxide brown, made from PBR7, and that's a color from Schmincke I absolutely love because it has a very high iron level in it, so that you have in the granulation a little bit of black spots, which of course in very rough paper with a lot of water, you will see a lot of activity there where you have pools which are black or parts which are more on the brown side. So that's really, really a wonderful color. And if you are a fan of granulation and color separation, then that's definitely a color which I can recommend very much. And that is a PBR7 version I've not much seen in other brands. I don't know if there's one which I could say is exactly like that one with the high containing black pigments or particles, better said. That's very, very lovely. And the last one is black iron oxide made from PBK11. And oh, I think I forgot to tell that the iron oxide brown has 5 of 5 stars, and that is the same with the iron oxide black. It's also 5 of 5 stars with light fastness. So they are both perfect in light fastness rating, and you have this absolutely beautiful granulating black. I love it very much, and I am super happy that they decided to take this as the black in the set, because in most pre-made sets you get ivory black, and it's the black I absolutely hate. I don't like warm blacks. I love the the cool or the neutral blacks a lot more. So here I just wanted to show the black parts that I mentioned. The paper is a very thin watercolor paper they give you for this little swatch card, and it's more on the smoother side. So if you use a rougher paper, you get a lot more stronger results with the granulation. I just wanted to show it so because it will take a little bit of time for drying, and it's easier to see on this one. I will now write down all of the information. So if you wanted to take a screenshot, that would be a good way when I've written everything down. I do this sometimes when I watch videos from other YouTubers, that I can look up the colors. So when I say I want to add some of the colors to my personal wish list, which is very long, for colors I want to buy someone in the future. And yeah. So welcome to today's video. I have here with me the Frau Hölle Sommer set from Schmincke Horadam, or if you would translate it to English, it would be Mrs. Hell's season set Summer. And yeah, I wanted to share this with you guys. They have, of course, all the other seasons as well, but I own only the summer one because I choose that one because I liked the colors in the set. So it's a little bit thinner than normal in height than other sets are, and the edges are very, very sharp on the side, so they didn't fold it over, and it doesn't contain any mixing space in the bottom, and that's probably why they also didn't put these two nips on the side where you can take it out more easily, probably to save some money. So please be careful with the sharp edges. I take it out now just so that I can save a little bit of space here because the table is very small. They also offer one of their swatching cards on a thin watercolor paper where you can write down the colors by yourself, so you can rearrange it easily if you want to. I don't pre-wet my colors, so I only go with a wet brush on the dry pen, so you can see with very little effort you have a lot of color on your brush. So Schmincke colors normally revert very, very easily. The first color we have here is cadmium yellow lemon, and it's made from PY35, so it's the real cadmium yellow pigment, and it has 4 of 5 stars for in their light fastness rating. And Schmincke has a 5-star system, which has 5 stars as the best and 1 or 0 stars for the worst light fastness rating. The next color here is Saturn red, and it's made from PO64. It has 4 or 5 stars with the light fastness rating, and I'm honestly always ask myself why they call it a red, because it's an orange, and it's an orange pigment as well. That color for me personally is not so much interesting, because I work very little with oranges. There are only a few I use a lot. So yeah, but I must say, I think the main reason for the sets are works like floral or botanical art. So I normally don't do stuff like that. So I'm using it a little bit differently, because I do different stuff with it, but it can work for that perfectly as well. So the third color here is cadmium red light, and that's a color I use a lot because I use it as a skin shading color. I water it down massively and use it as a super light wash as my first shadow layer on skin. And yeah, it's a very beautiful light warm red with a very, very small granulation, which cadmium red normally has. And if you want a cadmium red with a super strong granulation, then I can recommend the volcano red from the super granulation series. That's one of only 2 from their colors with which are single pigment colors, and it's a super high granulating cadmium red. If you don't want to use cadmium reds, then the best replacement for this color would be a PR 255 pyrrole red, because they are super similar in hue. So the color I just swatched is Brilliant Opera Rose, and it's made from PR 122. That's an quinacridone magenta, and normally the color is super light fast, but they added fluorescent, and that makes the color sadly very unstable in the light fastness rating, so they don't even give 1 star. So it is absolutely the worst light fastness rating you can get, if that is important for you. Most brands use BV10 rhodamine as the fluorescent. I don't know if this is also the one Schmincke uses, because they only offer the information fluorescent, and it's normally a material used in science for microscopic work, or antigen, ELISA antigen tests, stuff like that. Now, so yeah. The color I swatched just now was the sap green, made with PG7 phthalo green and PY 153, and it has 3 of 5 stars, so it's a medium in the light fastness rating. And the color I am swatching now is Helio Green, made from PG36, so it's phthalo green yellow shade, and it has 4 of 5 stars in light fastness rating. And I have PG36 from other brands, but I must say this one here is super special, because it sits somewhere in between the typical PG36 and a PG7 in hue. So if you don't like the typical PG7, or the typical PG36, which are mostly more yellowish and more luminescent, then maybe this one is a phthalo green for you. And I think it's a very, very good color for mixing natural greens. If you combine it with oranges or earthy browns like burnt sienna or burnt umber, that would be a very, very good mixing green. So the next one is Cobalt Green Deep, made from PG26, 5 of 5 stars, so best light fastness rating. And it's an absolute stunningly beautiful, dark, granulating green. I absolutely love it, but I'm a big fan of cobalt pigments, like some people already know. That is also the reason why I've chosen the cobalt color family for my first color family series, which you will find in a separate playlist if you are interested. And I want to continue with another color family next week. I wanted to start this week, but sadly, some of my colors are missing, and that's a big problem. So I had to buy a replacement, and I'm still waiting off the tubes. So this color is a cobalt color as well. It's cobalt turquoise, made from PG50, 5 of 5 stars in light fastness rating. So it's also high, the highest one you can get. And this one is also a little bit special because normally PG50 cobalt turquoises are more on the green side, and the PB28 cobalt turquoises are more on the bluish side. But Schmincke's PG50 is more on the bluish side, so it's very unusual. And if you like the greenish or the bluish shades more, it's just a personal preference thing, but it's a very beautiful cobalt turquoise. And of course, like all cobalt pigments, it's granulating as well. And the next one is also a little bit special. I think it's called Phthalo Sapphire Blue, and it's made from PB15 column 6. It has 4 of 5 stars in light fastness rating, so it's very high. And it's a very unusual shade of phthalo blue. I have no other phthalo blue which has a color like this one. It looks a lot more phthalo, like a traditional phthalo blue when it's wet, but when it's completely dry, it looks more like an ultramarine blue. But of course, as a phthalo pigment, it's a non-granulating blue. So if you like, or better said, if you don't like granulation, that one could be a perfect replacement for your ultramarine blue, I think. Of course, it's not completely the same hue as an ultramarine blue, but it tends a lot more to ultramarine than it tends to the traditional phthalo blues, you know. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting and I think a unique color. The next one here is Naples Yellow, and it's the second one of the convenient mixes in here, and in the whole set there are only that two. It's the sap green and the Naples Yellow. This Naples Yellow version is made from PW6, PY53 and PBR24. It has 4 of 5 stars in light fastness rating, so it's also very high. And of course, it is always a personal preference if you want to use colors which are mixed with a white pigment because they are quite opaque. Like I said, I'm not a botanical or florist artist, so that's not my main focus. But I've drawn some Spirited Away fan arts, for example, with only this set, which I have done a little challenge on myself with a limited palette, and this color in combination with, for example, the cadmium red, are very, very easy ways to color skin, and it worked very well for me. And the cobalt green deep was perfect for the dragon in Spirited Away as well. So really was quite an helpful set. So this brown is also a little bit special, and I absolutely love it. It's in PBR7. It's called Iron Oxide Brown, and it has 5 of 5 stars. So it's super high in light fastness rating. And the specialty here is it is the typical PBR7 in color, but it has a high iron content, and you see it as black particles. And if you work with a rougher paper and a lot of water, then you have color separation effect with this color, and it's so beautiful. And it's very unique. I don't own another PBR7 from another company which is like that. So if you are a fan like me of granulation and color separation, that's an absolute perfect color for that. And the last one is an iron oxide black. It's a PBK 11 and also 5 of 5 stars. And I'm so happy they choose that black, because I love it, and you can do so many great things with it. And normally in pre-made sets, they mostly every time the black is an ivory black, and I hate that one totally, because I don't like warm blacks. I like my blacks neutral or on the cooler side. And as a big fan of granulating watercolors, the PBK 11 is a pigment rarely used in pre-made sets, so that's really a great choice here. So here you can see that the phthalo blue is a lot more ultramarinish, and also you can see here it's a very smooth paper, but you can see the brown particles from the iron oxide brown. You also can see a little bit of the granulation on the cadmium red here. The numbers, like with the phthalo, the 477, it's the internal number. So I wanted to show this as well, because if you say you want only buy 1 or 2 of the colors, then you can find them with the color number very easily in the shops you are using. Because sometimes the English names and the German names are very different in some brands or with some colors, and I think it's it makes a lot finding or looking up colors a lot easier, because I had the problem in the past that I've seen a video from someone and I searched the color in a German shop, and the translation was completely different, and I couldn't find the color. It was very, very unnerving. Yeah, like for example, the one I have in mind is that normally you have earthy colors like Indian red or Caput Mortum. And normally with every brand I know, the names are translated to German. So it's Indisch Rot for Indian red, or Caput Mortum is Caput Mortum as well. But for example, with Schmincke, the color name in German is Indisch Rot, so Indian red. But the English name is Caput Mortum. It's the same color. And I was so confused when I've searched for Caput Mortum, and I couldn't find it in any shop, because the German shops always use the German names. It was super frustrating, and I had to search in the internet, and then I realized, okay, it's the same color. And I've looked up the internal numbers from Indian red and or better said, the Indisch Rot, so the German name, and the number from the Caput Mortuum, and I saw that is the complete same number. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to make you aware of, that sometimes, depending on in which country you live and if the color names are translated to your language, or if you are using like Schmincke colors, which comes from Germany, and so the original names are in German and then they are translated in English, that the names can be different. And if you want to be completely sure if it's the same color, then just look at the internal numbers. Every brand has a number system for their colors, and it's mostly 3 or 4 numbers. And yeah, that can be very helpful to use. I've done this a lot of times. And also with my very old color set from my childhood, which was my first. I got a 12 pen set from Schmincke Academy, which I've shown last week. If you want to see the video, I will put a link in the description box below. Yeah, and when I've wanted to know which colors are which, because at the time I got the set, I was around 10, so I was not interested in names or pigment numbers or stuff like that. And I never wrote down anything. And the box is now like 28 years old, around that age. And I wanted to know which colors I have, because I don't wanted to buy new Schmincke colors when I already have them. So I looked at the bottom part of the pen or on the side part, and there were numbers, and then I could look up which colors they are. Even after all this time, most of the numbers are still the same, and that made it very easily to know which colors I already own. And that's when I also realized that all the colors I've bought with my pocket money by myself as a child and as a teenager were Schmincke Horadam and not Academy colors. So yeah, I only struggled with 1 or 2 numbers, because one color is a color you can't buy anymore. It was either discontinued or it was a limited edition. I have no clue, but it is not able. You cannot buy it anymore. And another one probably have changed the numbers, because the color didn't work well with the number. I don't know. It was like I have a blue, but the number nowadays is a pink, something like that. But yeah, like I said, it can be very helpful to work with the internal brand numbers. Yeah, that are all the colors. I think it is for a 12 pen special use set. So it's made for a special yeah part of art, but it's still a lot of has a lot of variety. You have a primary yellow, you have a good blue as an, maybe not as a perfect primary, the phthalo shade, but it is a good blue for as to use as a primary blue nonetheless. Not the perfect choice, but very, very usable. The only one you don't have is a primary red. So on the red parts you are a little bit limited, but I think it is a very good color choice, and you can use this set still outside. of doing florals or botanical stuff. Like I said, I've used it for my anime styled work a lot, and it worked really, really well. So I think all in all, it is a set made for a special reason, but you can easily use it for other art stuff as well. And I like the color choice a lot. There are some very unique colors, and you have 2 cadmiums and 2 cobalts, which are very, very expensive pigments. And I think I can look over the small palette flaws like the sharp edges. I personally don't struggle with it, but of course you have to be aware of, so please be careful when working with it if you want to buy it by yourself. And of course it is not a set which I would give any kids, because of the cobalt and the cadmiums that are toxic pigments. If you handle it with care, it is no problem. But please be aware of, don't eat or drink. Keep your pets and your kids away from colors like that. Yeah, you can see the little bit of granulation. Oh, and the thing what I realized is which is totally strange, but it looks like the Brilliant Opera Rose has a small granulation as well, and I have no clue why, because quinacridone colors don't have granulation. But yeah, was a little bit funny. So sorry about the black. Still is still wet. I have to correct the swatch after I destroyed it with my hand. So I hope this will be helpful for you. Yeah, I personally wouldn't recommend it as a starter set if you don't own any colors, but as a additional set, it can be definitely very, very helpful. Or, of course, if you're more interested in doing floral stuff, then maybe it could also be useful as a starter set. There, I don't have any experience with, though I can't really say. But I think it's a very beautiful set, and I personally like it very much. Schmincke colors are always super, super high quality, so you can't do wrong with buying any Schmincke colors. And yeah, hope you have enjoyed this little video, and I wish you a wonderful week, and yeah, hope to see you soon, and take good care of yourself.